Hi, welcome to ML Movie Reviews. Today I'm going to talk about Thunderbolts with an asterisk. I saw it 3 times. First time I saw it, I was kind of lukewarm about it, but I leaned towards recommending the movie. I was lukewarm because they kind of did something different in this movie, which I'm going to get into later in my spoiler part of this review. But after watching it 3 times, my recommendation has gotten stronger. So I like the movie better after I've seen it several times. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, you don't need to see other MCU movies to understand what's going on and what's going on with the characters. There are references to MCU events, but there's enough exposition and stuff in the movie where you can understand what's going on in this movie. Now, the other movies do sort of add and you understand more what these characters are about and what their backstory is. So I'll point out some movies you should see if you want to know more about each character. So the Black Widow movie, that's the one where Red Guardian makes his appearance, Yelena, Taskmaster, as well as Valentina in like a post-credit scene. Um, Falcon and Winter Soldier, that's where Bucky, he and Sam are in that movie, along with John Walker. Now, Bucky, of course, has been in a lot of MCU movies, all the Captain America movies, as well as a special appearance in Black Panther, and I believe Ant-Man as well in the post-credit scene. And of course, Valentina's in Falcon and Winter Soldier as well. And Ant-Man and the Wasp, that's the movie that Ghost appears in. Valentina, she's just made guest appearances in the movies and shows that I just mentioned, as well as Black Panther 2. The first appearance for Bob is this movie. So Bob has never appeared in an MCU movie before. So now I'm going to get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, just hit the pause button, go watch it, and then come back and finish this review. So this movie is more depth than the Marvel movies typically are. This movie is about psychological drama with some action, fantasy, comic book elements in it. It's basically Marvel's A24 movie. Marvel has gone into different genres and incorporated MCU, like for instance, the buddy cop genre. It was Deadpool, Wolverine. The heist movie is Ant Man and Wasp. I'm sorry, Ant Man. The political thriller is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This is sort of the A24 movie, right? And there's no accident why there's a trailer out there with an A24 vibe for this movie, and that's because this is their A24 movie. Now, A24 movies are known to be artistic, psychological, mind bending, themes of grief and trauma, and that's what you get here in this movie. So, what is this movie about? To put it in a few words, this movie's about fighting depression through fellowship. When I use the term depression, that's of course talking about mental health. It's a mood disorder. It deals with feelings of sadness, loss of interest. It impacts how a person feels, thinks, and behaves. So that's what I'm talking about when I say depression. Fighting is like a struggle. Person who suffers depression is going to struggle with it. They're going to struggle in terms of recognizing what it is that's making them depressed, seeing symptoms of depression in themselves as well as other people. And it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that, oh, it's a quick fix solution that's going to last forever. It's going to be a constant struggle, but things get better as you undergo treatment. Fellowship, that deals with people being there for one another, compassion, listening. You have these people who are losers, they're outcasts, they're rejects, the B-Vengers, right? And they're bonding over their shared experience, like being targets of Valentina to wanting to save Bob against the Century and the Void, as well as seeing each other's pain, their shame, their trauma, and working together to bond and help each other throughout the whole entire movie. So that's pretty much what I'm talking about when I sort of describe the movie. Now, there's a lot of symptoms of depression that appear throughout the movie, with like sadness, obviously. Red Guardian, he uses humor to mask what's going on with him. He's not fulfilled in his work. It doesn't make him happy because he's not, working like he did to work and serve his country and fight for humanity with his special abilities. Hopelessness, when they're obviously outmatched by the Century, they all so put up their hands and walk away. Emptiness, you have Yelena dealing with emptiness and apathy. So is Bucky as well in his political career. You can see in that opening scene where it doesn't seem like he's like really into it. He's kind of like talking and using the same words over and then going through the motions. and he's feeling drained as well. Substance abuse and memory loss. You're dealing with Bob, right? He has a substance abuse issue when he was dressing up like a chicken, right? Or he can't remember what happened to him, or what just literally happened to him in that scene when they left the void, right? So you have worthlessness. They're all losers, right? They're also dealing with shame. John Walker's dealing with shame from his fall from grace when he murdered that guy in cold blood, and losing his wife. He can't even really talk about the loss of his wife until Bucky calls out. And you can see the look on his face when Yelena learns that information. So there's a whole bunch of symptoms of depression that's going on in this movie. So what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about some of the visual representations of what the theme of this movie is. So the clear one to me is two of them. One is that scene where they're holding the concrete slab, and the other one when they literally defeat the void by hugging Rob or Bob, right? I mean, they literally stop the void by giving Bob a hug, right? I mean, that's one visual representation of fellowship, fighting depression through fellowship. And they struggle with this concrete slab because they're all working together to sort of keep you can't have the world on your shoulders and take out everything by yourself. You need others to take the pressure off, and that's literally what that scene symbolizes. So I want to talk about some of the likes I have about the movie, like obviously the themes I just mentioned, but also like the fight between the anti-heroes and the incinerator. There's some cool action scenes. That's the big one, as well as when they're fighting through the guards, when they're trying with the agents that are trying to kill them or use non-lethal force against them. I like that scene. The scene when Bucky shows up behind the limo. It gave me like echoes of Winter Soldier, especially with the score as well as his facial expressions. So I really like that scene. I like some of the humor in this movie, particularly like when John Walker kind of dismisses Yelena's childhood trauma, when Bob calls John Walker an asshole, how the Thunderbolts with an asterisk name came out from when Yelena had that conversation when John sort of makes her sarcastic comment, and then Red Guardian picks up on it and embraces the name. And I thought that was like funny, that whole bit. Red Guardian himself, with the mouthwash in the beginning by the sink, the limo driver life, how he's excited to be part of the team, and the mid credit scene with the Wheaties box. I even thought the woman who put the Wheaties box down was funny too, like her reaction to the Guardian. Like, so that all worked for me, and I like the chemistry just between the characters. Like, I want to see them interact more. Like, I want to obviously know more about them. And I've seen all these characters. Obviously, Bob didn't appear in another movie, and I want to see more of Bob. But I like these characters better after watching this movie than in previous movies. The post-credit scene was good. We find out that they're actually the new Avengers. Now that's kind of a joke too, because the whole movie, Valentina's trying to kill these people, and then she needs to save her ass, and so she, basically, which was a callback to her speech to Congress, like, we don't have an Avengers, we need a new. Oh, well, here's the new Avengers, right after the Thunderbolts, get together and help Bob and defeat the Void and all that stuff, and then she has to come up with a way to basically save her ass, and that's how she does it. So I thought that whole part was funny, but it sets up the tension between Sam and these new Avengers. Now, right now, it's not clear to me why Sam doesn't embrace them, because there are no Avengers, so he might want all the help he can get. I don't know if they're even going to play off that. Maybe it was meant to be a joke, or maybe they will build up on it. I just don't understand why especially when they've used broken people before to be part of the Avengers. Like, Black Widow was broken. She killed a lot of people. Scarlet Witch, she was pretty bad, and she became a badass Avenger. So I don't really understand why he has a problem with anti-heroes being Avengers. And of course, it gives you Fantastic Four coming into the 616. So I thought that was pretty good. So gave us a link between this movie and the next one, made the post-credit meme give us some interest, some interest among the fans, and everybody's was really hyped when they saw that four and that shuttle. So that was pretty good. Dislikes, I thought there was a major plot hole with the whole incinerator thing. The main plot hole, just to summarize it, these people, the John Walker, Taskmaster, Ghost, they were all pitted against each other. They had reasons to fight each other. But when you see Yelena walk into the room, it's like none of them even interacted. Like they weren't fighting, they weren't trying to kill each other, and there's no way that John Walker and Taskmaster had entered the building after Yelena entered the from the elevator, because that elevator was like the only way that they all could have entered that incinerator room. And so they clearly were there the whole time, but it's like if you're trying to kill each other, or like you would have had some kind of interaction and fighting going on when Yelena entered the room. So that came across as a plot hole to me. The Taskmaster death didn't really serve any narrative purpose from what I saw. It was a missed opportunity. The Taskmaster character, when she was a child, she was disfigured. Black Widow was trying to basically get out of the Black Widow program. She had to kill her Taskmaster's father. Well, she wasn't known as Taskmaster then, but when she was a girl, the father of her. And that led to her that she thought she killed her, but she actually disfigured her. And then that's when her father created the Taskmaster. But they could have leaned on issues like with body shaming, appearances, how that leads to mental health, depression, and trauma. And clearly, Taskmaster's disfigured. That's why she, wears the mask. And so they could have played off that, but that was like a missed opportunity. And she has a mask that she's been using throughout all these assassination missions for decades, and no one ever shot her in the face, not with machine guns or anything, but somehow a point blank shot is going to get her. I mean, this is the MCU. Like, you would think that she would have had like a bulletproof mask or something. So that didn't quite make sense to me. But anyway, I probably spent more time on Taskmaster right now than the movie even did. So I'm gonna move on. Some of the humor didn't work. There was like some emotional stuff that didn't work, which is kind of unfair because this is coming off Sinners, which after the third viewing, it just, that emotion to that movie just hit me, and it just didn't hit me in this movie in Thunderbolts like it did with Sinners. There's some character arcs that weren't fully developed, like Ghost, for instance. They tried to do something where she brought up the woman that she killed, the Taskmaster, but it didn't even go anywhere in the movie and serve a narrative purpose at all. Sentry was created by the government experiments. You're talking about humans who are able to create something that has godlike powers like Thor and all the Avengers. Kind of echoes a Secret Invasion a little bit, but also with humans be able to do that without like alien technology and stuff. So, I mean, that was kind of, but look, I maintain my prediction for Doomsday. I think they're going to establish the threat of Doomsday by having Doom take out Sentry. So I think that's why Bob is around, because he's going to be like the Hulk to Thanos in Infinity War. They're going to use him to up Doomsday's threat level. So, but overall, I think right now I would say it's a top tier MCU movie. The lower part of the top tier, but definitely a top tier MCU movie. So highly strong recommend. So anyway, this is ML Movie Reviews. Hit the subscribe button so you can see more reviews about not just Marvel movies, but in general movies that come out, and movie news. And until next time.